Today, the Wrangler TJ is getting a serious upgrade, a set of Poison Spyder High Fenders. But before we can bolt on all that glorious steel, we've got to strip away the stock fenders. Think of it as tearing down old walls before building a fortress. Tuckles, grab the tools, and maybe a bit of patience. First thing, the battery comes out. We need all the room we can get, and we definitely don't want to accidentally weld anything with a wrench. So, battery out, and yes, it's heavier than it looks. Next, the battery tray and the fuse box mount come off. This opens up the inner fender area and exposes the bolts we need to get to. With the battery gone, we tackle the first 4 bolts hiding inside, right behind where the battery was. Then, another 4 underneath it, holding the lower section of the fender. Up front, there are 6 more bolts securing the fender to the grille in the front corner. Some might fight you on the way out. A little persuasion usually helps. Once all the bolts are free, it's time for the big moment. We give the fender a strong pull, and it pops right off. Just like that, the Jeep is standing bare and ready for its new armor. With the old fender gone, the TJ looks almost naked, but not for long. The next step is where the magic happens, fitting those Poison Spyder High Fenders and giving this Jeep the clearance, strength, and attitude it deserves. Before the new fenders can go on, there's one important step. The stock battery tray is gone, which means we need to install the new one that comes with the Poison Spyder kit. The design is simple, straightforward, and bolt-on. Finally, something on this Jeep that doesn't require cutting, grinding, or swearing. A few bolts secure the tray right into place, locking it down solid. And yes, it actually lines up perfectly. battery base locked in, it's time for the star of the show, the Poison Spyder High Fender. Rear bolts slide in easily, almost like they were made for it. Which, thankfully, they were. But the front bolts, that's where things get tricky. The 3 bolts right under the headlight need a bit of persuasion. Let's just say, a bend here and there helps everything line up. Once those are tightened down, the fender sits flush, solid, and ready for abuse. Next, the battery plate gets mounted back onto the brand new base. Everything fits, everything clears. And with one side complete, we slowly move on to the other fender, repeating the process step by step until the Jeep finally wears its full set of Poison Spyder armor. On the other side, things start with the horns. 2 bolts, 1 connector, and they're out of the way. Ha ha. Of course, everything is covered in dried mud and dirt, but so far no broken bolts. That's a win. Next up is the windshield washer reservoir. 4 bolts, 1 connector, and of course the water hose. Unplug, unbolt, and just like that, it's gone. Right behind it sits the ARB compressor. That comes off too, clearing the way for the fender. From here, it's the exact same drill as the other side. The fender bolts come out one by one, and with a little force and persuasion, the stock fender finally breaks free. This time, there's nothing extra to add or adjust. The Poison Spyder fender goes straight on, bolts tighten down, and the fit is perfect. And just like that, the Wrangler TJ now wears a full set of high fenders. Strong, clean, and ready to hit the trails. Ha ha, not to mention, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Now we're getting into the tricky stuff. This is where you need a steady hand and a good dose of patience. Cutting, trimming, test fitting, and we start with the hood. We needed to take off roughly 8 cm, since that's how much higher the high fenders sit. As always, measure twice, cut once, and it looks like we nailed it. Of course, the hood will go for paint later, but right now what really matters is the perfect fitment. With the hood ready, it's time for the latches, which also need to move higher. Measure, drill, bolt them down, done. Next up, the round LED turn signals. For these, we drill an 18mm hole so the LED and its rubber grommet sit snugly in place. And then more cutting. Because of both cost, inner Poison fenders are expensive and hard to find, and practicality, everything we removed needs to bolt back somewhere. We decided to keep the OEM inner fenders. We cut them flush with the line of the new high fenders and mounted them back. The fitment? Well, it's OEM because it is OEM. There's a gap left that will eventually close off with an aluminum panel, but for now it stays as is. Once everything is bolted back in place, the job is done. And now we can finally step back and enjoy what we just built. And that's it for this stage of the TJ build. High fenders on, everything lined up, and looking absolutely killer. Next step, paint and finishing touches. But for now, the Jeep already feels like a whole new beast. If you enjoyed watching this build, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Jeep upgrades, builds, and off-road adventures. Thanks for watching.